The world as we know it has changed forever. We can clearly define a pre-corona world and a post-corona world. And in this video, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to walk you through a few important concepts. What are the top 20 affected industries? If you happen to be in one of those 20 industries, it's time for you to start making those shifts and reinventing yourself. I'm going to reveal to you the 13 things that has completely changed in the world, and it is going to change forever. And I'm also going to share with you the 15 industries that are going to be winning in the post-corona world. Please watch this video till the end very closely, because this is going to be one of the most important videos. So having said, let's jump into it. There are 5 important concepts that I want to share with you. The first concept I want to share with you is that the world has changed forever. And I always say this, the world was like this, and now we are here in terms of social distancing and so on. And once the world comes back, it's not going to go back here. It'll be somewhere only in between or somewhere lower, because everything has changed. The way that we look at things have changed, and I'll prove it to you in today's video. The second thing is adaptation is the key. If you're very rigid in your thinking and your thought process, and if you're not quick to make those changes and decisions in your life and in your business, you're going to be on the losing side. And number 3 is, it is not survival of the fittest, it is survival of the quickest. The faster you can adapt yourself, the better it is for you. Okay, whether it be a job, 47 million jobs have been lost in the US just in the first few days of the coronavirus impacting, and now the recession is getting into full swing mode. So what you need to do at this stage is, you need to be quick, survival of the quickest, in terms of quick decision making, quick action taking, quick learning. And now the world is moving into a mode of forced entrepreneurship. Whether you like it or not, you have to become an entrepreneur. Yeah, many people who felt that education is the most important thing in this world, getting degrees is the most important thing in this world, getting a safe and secure job in a top MNC is the most important thing in the world, they are the ones who have been hit really bad, including the top level CEOs. I would say vice presidents, CEOs will be making some very, very tough decisions. So what I'm here to tell you is that this is a very interesting time in the world where you need to understand where to position yourself. Okay, so and entrepreneurship is one of the best stepping stones for you to have more control over your own life, because in spite of you working in a corporate organization for 10, 15, 20 years, and if something like this falls on you, what are you going to do? You have those EMIs going, you got so many, your family to take care of, so many things where you depended completely on the corporation to take care of you. Now we are moving into that era of forced entrepreneurship, because even the corporation does not know how to save its people. So survival of the quickest, forced entrepreneurship. And number 5, I want to say that this is an ego slap by nature. So we got to be living more conscious life. We need to do things in a more conscious way, which is more, I would say, which is more in tune with nature. Because with the way that we've been consuming things, the whole age of consumerism, even I should look at mass animal slaughter that has been happening all over the world. It is definitely like, what goes around comes around. And we are also, as a human race, we are getting wiped out because of our activities. So I want to, that 5th point is very important. I want you to think about how you can live a more conscious life, which is really adding value to to society, and which is really impacting which is really positively impacting nature. Okay, so having said that, let's jump into the the 12 not 12, I've got how many industries here? 20 industries that are affected. Okay, 20 industries that are affected. Let's start with it one by one. The first one is the job market. As all of you know, I mentioned this, job market is in a very serious situation right now globally, because even I know, I have employees working for me. I have friends who are running companies of 300 people, and they are mass giving pink slips, because there's no other way to sustain, because there is no inflow, there's no revenues coming in. And how can they pay people when there are no revenues coming in, unless you're in an industry where it is not affected? So the job market is the first industry that is hugely affected, which is why I said forced entrepreneurship. The second industry which is hugely affected is the retail industry, and many of you may already know this. Like, nobody's going outside and buying. The shopping malls, the retail businesses, where you had a shop and people have to come and buy from you, that's completely gone. Including Amazon, online retail also is right now in a precarious condition right now until things get better, right? So retail is also gone. Travel industry is completely gone. Airline industry, like nobody's traveling these days. You go and look at airports, how they're going to be. There's nobody traveling these days. And it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry that has gone down. Number 4 is the tourism industry is also gone. Who wants to go for for vacations at this time. Nobody's going to invest even 1 rupee in going for vacation. So if you're in that sector, it's time to start making those shifts. Number 5 is the hospitality industry, the hotels and the 5-star hotels. In fact, just before the lockdowns and all of that happened, we did a seminar in Delhi, and I was seeing nobody's in hotels. The hotel rates have dropped by 40-50%, and 5-star hotels sitting on big inventory, big payroll, big expenses on a day-to-day basis, operational expense on a day-to-day basis. Now imagine if there's nobody going into hotels, what kind of impact it will have in the entire supply chain. So that's huge. Number 6 is the automotive industry. Nobody is driving and going out these days, and that doesn't mean that it's not going to go back, but it is not going to go back to normal. People are not going to make those big decisions on buying fancy cars and stuff. Okay, like people may have those fancy cars, but what's the use of it right now when you cannot really go out? Okay, and having said that, even considering coronavirus and all these things get settled down, but still it's not going to go back to the way that it was, because the entire job culture also has changed. I'm going to come to that. Okay, the way the work is going to be changed. Cinema industry is dead. Forget about you going to a mall and sitting in a cinema hall, because nobody's going to go anymore. Okay, in fact, there are governments who have put rules that you should not go and sit in cinemas, because that's where the spreading and all of that can happen. So that is also gone right now. Cinema industry. So box office, ticket, the movie industry is definitely impacted because of this one thing here. Okay, next one is, let's look at logistics industries. Logistic industries, not all of them, but it has been impacted to such way, depending on what kind of logistics it is. Looking at food supplies and medical supplies, all of that, those are on track, because that's only going to feed the entire engine of the society right now, where people are not doing other things. They need the essentials of the basics of life, like food, vegetables and all that stuff. That part of logistics will not get affected, but other logistics, which is directly impacting the other industries, are going to get majorly affected, and you're seeing that already. Local transportation is gone. Ubers and Olas and all these things. I mean, it's completely gone. Imagine if you're an Uber, Ola driver, or if you know somebody who's like that, and now they cannot do anything. There's no other way to create an income for themselves. Okay, so again, it's time to reinvent. Number 10 is the restaurant business is also gone. Who's going to go and eat in restaurants now? In fact, home food is even more these days. Okay, people are eating more home food these days, which is actually good. It's more healthy. It is like a forced way of becoming more healthy. Number 11 is the luxury products. That industry is also booming. Like, why are people going to be buying these high-flying luxury products when they need the basic essentials of life? And I feel this entire situation has leveled the field. Whether you are a super rich person or you are middle class person, I mean, you need the basic essentials of life. Whether you're a movie star, cricket star, whatever superstar that you may be, and even a normal person sitting at home, you are still looking for those basic needs to be met on a daily basis. So that level playing field has happened. Number 12 is live sports. Live sports is gone. I mean, imagine, see the amount of the billions of rupees or dollars that were spent into watching live matches, the IPLs, and look at just think about the cricketers right now. What would be going through their mind? They will be thinking about reinventing themselves, because their entire career was dependent on playing a live match. Okay, and all the revenues, all that bidding that happens in IPL. I mean, all sports personalities, not just cricket. I'm talking about all sports globally. It has been affected. Okay. Number 13 is real estate has been affected. So when real estate is affected, like nobody's buying, I mean, people are looking only for the essentials. Yes, so this is also an industry. Having said that, some of the smart people or investors will be investing at this point of time, okay, and looking at the future. And oil and gas has been affected also. Who's going to be, who's going and filling petrol in their cars? No one. Okay, so that entire supply chain of getting oil and gas is affected. Number 15, the construction industry is affected. Number 16 is the film industry, like I mentioned, is affected. Number 17 is events and conferences. If you're doing large events and conferences, that is also affected, because yes, even though it may come back to normal, it's not going to be like normal before, because of the social distancing that has gone into the DNA of the society now. Number 18 is the tech and gadgets. Like I'm talking about consoles, gaming consoles. You look at some of these big companies like Apple and Samsung. They have cut down, their production has got affected hugely. Even though the need to buy phones will be there, but it's not going to be like before. It's definitely not going to be there. It's a boom, moving in the downward direction there. Number 19 is automobile manufacturing. Okay, because there are not many people who are going to be going and driving cars and stuff like that. Like before, people who have 2-3 cars, they may decide, why do they need so many cars? Let them just settle with just 1 or 2. I mean, there's a whole transformation that's going to happen in the automobile manufacturing industry also. And number 20 is the fintech investing and so on. There is some disruption that's happening over there. So anyway, these are the industries which are most affected. So if you happen to be in any one of these industries, again, it's for you, it is time to wake up. For you, it is time to reinvent yourself. Look at adversity as an opportunity for you to grow and to start to reinvent yourself. That's why I said those people are stuck in their old ideologies and who are rigid in their thinking that, you know what, I'm going to make this happen no matter what, even though I'm affected. Come on, please don't go against the current. You know, it's time to like shift the orbit and move into the new world that we are stepping into. Okay, I'll tell you what has changed in this world. Okay, before I share with you the top other industries, there are 13 things that I observed that has completely changed in this world. One is definitely social interaction has changed forever. Okay, we are not going to see that happening like before, even though, you know, even if coronavirus goes and everything comes back to normal, people are still going to be cautious on how they're going to be interacting socially. So you will not really find so many people gathering in large gatherings anymore. I don't know for how long, because this has been a serious issue around the world. Number two is the work style has changed. The entire corporate world has made it like a work from home work style right now, with so many jobs that are being lost on one hand. Still, this entire work from home opportunities are given to the employees right now. So you're going to see the entire work style changing. The way people are going to track people's time of them logging into work, the effectiveness of work. So the entire corporate world is redefining the work style and work culture. Number three is internet usage is going through the roof. I'm sure you know this already. Streaming platforms, video platforms, Facebook is like literally bursting right now with the number of people who are there on Facebook, which is good in one way, where Facebook is actually collecting data like crazy, and on the other side is, yeah, the platform is literally, you know, handling like billions of people right now. Now health consciousness has gone to a whole new level. I hope you agree with me on this point, that now with the social distancing, people being more conscious about covering their mouths, washing their hands, all that stuff, the consciousness of health has gone to a different level, which is very, very good. Number five is there's less pollution because of that. People not going out, there's no pollution on the road. It is definitely affecting the nature in a positive way. Like you would see birds chirping in the morning, you know, the trees are growing, and there's no, the air is fresh. That's because for so many days there's not been like pollution from the traffic and vehicles going up in the air. It's like Mother Nature has given us a slap for us to realize that, you know, she needs her space. It's amazing of how the world has transformed just in the last few days. People's priorities have changed. I'm sure your priorities have changed. You would have had a set of goals that you wanted to achieve and this and that, but now back to the basics of life. Priorities, what is more important? Food, shelter, clothing, basic clothing, being happy, being together as a family, staying safe, being healthy. Everything is it's come down to the most basics of even just being alive and being happy. Okay. Business models are changing like crazy. I'm seeing this happen. Number 8 is the family time is increased. Expenses have dropped like crazy. I'm sure because many of us, we're not going out, we're not shopping, we're not doing all kinds of stuff, right? I'm sure you would experience at least 60-70% drop in your monthly household expenses if you have been somebody who's been splurging and stuff like that in the past. Expenses have definitely dropped. Number 10 is the education industry has changed. Now I'm seeing people who are, all schools have moved into online based video based conferencing kind of classes. My son is doing taekwondo classes on Zoom now, where the master's in one place, all the students are in different places. The master watches each one, makes them do it, and so that the entire field of education is changing. Food has changed. I mean, the entire food industry is changing right now. Everyone is more conscious. They're cooking home food and they're, being more healthy. Entertainment has changed. No more cinemas, no more malls, no more regular entertainment. Everything is coming down to your Netflix and on your social media and your smartphones. Number 13 is what? The environment has changed. The entire environment in terms of nature. I just mentioned that earlier on. Less pollution. The entire environment has changed in the world. Okay, this is crazy. So this is all that has changed. So now, if you have found this useful till this point, like we are 14 minutes into this video, if you're serious and if you're excited about the new world, what I'm going to share with you next is going to make so much of sense that you will be able to really step into the world and be more relevant. You'll be ahead of the curve when you are able to have that mindset of positioning yourself on the winning side. Okay, so let's go and check out what are the winning industries. I made a list of 15 of them. There could be more, but I'm just sharing with you based on the research that I've done. Okay, so the first one is digital products, because physical products requires manufacturing, shipping, handling, logistics, middlemen, commissions, all kinds of stuff. But digital products, information products, which can help them grow, structured knowledge that can help them grow. The second industry is the gig economy. Now this is going to be the next big thing, because so many people are losing jobs. The whole paradigm of jobs has changed forever, which means the gig economy. See, Uber is was a good in the gig economy. Airbnb's gig economy. What do you mean by gig economy? You are paying somebody for a particular project. Like suppose I had to travel from point A to point B. I pay that driver. I don't own the car. I don't pay salary to the driver, and I'm just using him for that particular gig. Now the same thing is moving into workforce. So if you go to platforms like Fiverr.com, Upwork.com, Elance.com, there are many platforms there. You don't need to have any employees. And corporations, large corporations are going to leverage into the gig economy right now, where they are going to be paying people per task, paying people per micro projects, paying people to get the small things done, and all they need is a good gig or like a gig project manager who can just manage the projects, and nobody is on payroll. Okay, the whole concept of payroll is going to change. And watch this happen. If some of you are still skeptical about this, thinking that I need to give more jobs to people, you need to give them jobs in the form of gigs, not putting them on a full-time payroll. Okay, unless you need that role in your organization. Number 3 is stock market investing. So while the markets are crashing, this is the time when investors make the most money. We're talking about things like algo trading, value investing, forex, day trading, and there are so many other aspects of trading. But this is also going to be an industry where those of you who have the liquid funds, who have the liquidity to go and put money into investing, this is the time where you need to be moving your money in the right directions. Home gardening is going to grow. This is the better way to actually get your vegetables and fruits, right? Why do you have to depend on someone external where you can organically grow them on your own? So hydroponics is a topic which I would like all of you to think about and start growing your own food at home. If you have a terrace, just do a terrace garden option. Okay, go into that, because that will actually give you a lot more options. So home gardening. Number 5 is online coaching and online teaching. This is also one area which I specialize in besides digital products. So if you're a teacher, if you're a coach, if you are an expert, you can start to do live Zoom trainings, live Zoom calls, start to charge people for your coaching. Mental health is a winning industry. Right now, people are going through all kinds of stress, all kinds of turmoil. And if you're a psychiatrist, psychologist, if you're into any form of mental health wellness, that's a good for you. It's a good time to come out and start serving people. Alternate energy, solar, wind. Now with the consciousness increasing in the world when it comes to being in alignment with nature and to go against global warming and other things, alternate energy is going to be the huge talk of the world after in the post-corona world. Okay. Number 8 is insurance is going to grow. Number 9 is alternate medicines are going to grow, because people are going to look at alternate forms of healing themselves, alternate medicines, not just the conventional allopathic medicines. We're looking at Ayurvedic, we're looking at homeopathic, we're looking at other forms of healing. Gaming is going to grow right now. I mean, I'm sure many of you are already gaming right now and spending a lot of time playing games, and that's an industry that's definitely going to boom into the future. There's no doubts about it. Number 11 is healthcare is going to grow. Number 12, affiliate marketing, selling other people's products. This is a huge multi-million dollar industry. So this is a huge industry to also look into, but be careful when you're picking the products. Make sure that you're using it yourself, that you've got the value from that yourself. Network marketing, direct sales is also going to be booming, because people are going to look for additional ways to make income. With so many job losses happening in the marketplace, there is no other option but for them to look at extra forms of income. But again, be very careful when you choose a network marketing company which has a good track record, good credibility, and if it's if they're able to fulfill the need in a post-corona world. Number 14 is data sciences is going to grow huge, big time. I'm talking about things like IoT, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Those of you who are in this space, you know that this is going to be the future, and this is already the future. And if you're in this space and if you're doing projects with organizations that are actually collecting data, there's a lot of work to do in this space, and this will never go down. It's only going to move up. And finally, number 15 is spiritual sciences. We have data sciences on the scientific side, and you have spiritual sciences. We're looking at occult sciences, Vastu, healing, tarot, astrology, and all these things are going to be rising because people are now beginning to become even more curious about what is their purpose in life, and many of them are going back to their roots. They're going back to reading scripture. They're going back to spending more time with themselves. They're getting into meditation and different kinds of practices. So these other industries are where there's a lot of potential. There is hope. The light. It looks bright on this side. Whereas on this side, all these industries that I mentioned, these 20 industries, is where it's getting dark. Okay, so if you happen to be in any of those sectors, it is time to reinvent yourself by acknowledging that the world has changed and start to reinvent yourself in this way. Okay.